Okay, I started the recording.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so let me share now my slides. Slides are, of course, a bit scientific, but I'll try my best to do a reasonable, of the lecture for everybody can understand the deep science what is embedded in this talk. Well, I know most of you all are professionals, and you already have an exposure towards this kind of the disciplines. Now, the topic is the Sri Lankan traditional health foods for wellness tourism industry. In fact, my institute, Industrial Technology Institute, former CISIR, so at Colombo 7, next to SSC grounds, you know, that institute, that is the premier research organization in the country, and it's a multidisciplinary research institute. So we are into various aspects of research and development, and so that helps the whatever industries in the country. So and if you are into export oriented industries, our service is very much important, because we provide analytical reports for your products to be accepted by international community, and we are the best in the country, and we are playing an equal field around in this region when it comes to analytical services, research and development. So that's about my institute. And I don't want to give you an introduction to my other institute, the University of Colombo, where I am permanently attached. I was appointed as chairman of Industrial Technology Institute about a year ago. And I was, of course, the director general of this institute for about 5 years before I returned back to the university. And I'm a research professor there. So that's about the two institutes, and let me give you some background what I am been doing. The Ruan explained my attachments, of course, and I have a PhD in chemical biology. That is where you look at the chemistry of the biological resources. So my interest is looking at the chemistry of these biological resources. Of course, the functional chemicals, in the sense the chemicals that are useful for the biomedical and agricultural applications. And then I also have a postdoctoral training from Japan on nutrition biochemistry and health food biotechnology. So I'm very much competent in talking about the health benefits of our natural products. So that is the core of this particular talk to you all, because the knowledge that I'm going to impart onto you will be very useful when it comes to your profession, your industry, especially when you are to explain the lush of this country, uh, the traditional the traditions, our traditions. When you talk about, I know you talk about our traditions a lot, our cultural heritage a lot. So this also will be a very important part of a culture, the food culture. So that is what I am going to talk about. So then I'm a chartered chemist as well as a chartered biologist. So yeah, a lot of awards I got for my research and various fellowships, and also I have been serving in many organizations of this country. Well, I have not had opportunity to be a member of any of the boards that are related to tourism. But tourist board, director tourist board represent the Mushroom Development Center board. So Upali, I can remember, is no more. He is now he actually I think died about few years back. You can remember him. He's a very nice gentleman. Pali, I cannot remember his surname. He was serving in this board, so I had a good, relationship with him from the tourist board. Well, so that's about me, and I have many PhD students, master students, and a lot of research projects at the moment. I have about 5, 6 PhDs working with me right now, and few, of course, graduated, and now they are PhDs in their respective fields and contributing to the country, and some of them are overseas serving in various institutes. Well, let's get into the topic now. I think we have about 15, 16 participants. Others will join later. I believe, but now since this lecture is now recorded, I think you will be able to distribute this among fellow members. So that's all right. So my wholehearted wish is to give this knowledge for you all, for you to you all are ambassadors for this country, because you are the people who closely deal with our tourists. And so when you educate them, they go back and educate their members, their friends, their families, so that it's a kind of ambassador role that you all are doing. So, uh, though you are not designated as such, so you are playing a very pivotal role in uh, getting the country, the flag flying in all over the world. So, knowing that in my mind, I thought to give as much as possible I can within this 1 hour or so. But I don't mind if you guys have time. I can go on till maybe even at 2, 3 years, because I'm a lecturer at university, so I don't mind talking to people for a long time. So that's all right. So let's get into the topic. Right. So now you see, we all know about food. You see now, but the beauty of this food is that. It's so diverse, right? You will see it as a huge diversity with different taste, different aroma, different colors, different textures. You, I mean, like, you can feel it, you can smell it and get that aroma into your, system. And so many, different properties within this food. But something that people are not very much aware of about your food is that they carry uh, what we call phytochemicals, or the natural molecules within them that helps to maintain your health, right? So that is the most important part, but we are not so much aware of about this, right? Then the colors, of course, it's so beautiful. I mean, like, you can feel it very easily, the colors. And the taste, of course, when you eat, you get it, right? And the texture, some are very, uh, you know, very palatable, and some are little bit harsh, but still taste, and the aroma may be facilitating those which has bad texture. Doesn't matter, you eat because you have the taste and the aroma. So world is, of course, not only us, right? Even everybody in this world was eating food to get over the hunger, and also for the taste and the aroma. I think I'm very clear about it. You all are very clear about it, right? So, but if you take our ancestors, our own ancestors, right? They didn't eat for hunger, right? Hunger is one part, of course. They didn't eat only for the taste and aroma, but they always looked at whether there is any health benefit of eating this whatever food. This knowledge was there, it was there for thousands of years, right? It's, I mean, it's amazing if you look at the knowledge what we have in this country, although it is now under the carpet, it is there still. We can surface it, we can use it for the benefit of our people and the whole mankind, right? So there is a well documented knowledge about the health benefits of food, right? So let me give some information or the knowledge regarding what is the feeling of other culture, the main cultures in this world about food, right? Yeah. So there is a Chinese saying that the food and the medicine are isogenic, right? The food and the medicine are isogenic. So this is a Chinese saying, ancient old saying. So which indicates that the food has some medicinal role, right? So food is something that you eat every day from morning to evening, and you believe that you eat it, then the next day morning you evacuate, right? Some of that, of course. Then you think, well, okay, so we eat because we need to live. Yes, true. And also we think that we are getting the nutrition from the food for our living. Yes, true. But now this, when it comes to nutrition, we think that it is the protein that is there in the food. We think that it is the carbohydrate that they are in the food. It is the fat or the lipid that is there in the food. These are the main three components of nutrition, of course, yes. Then the vitamins or the amino acids that are there in the food, and these micronutrients such as minerals. uh, we think, okay, yes, those, that's the nutrition. So you eat meat, you eat vegetables, you eat starchy foods, and you think that yeah, that those are the nutritions. Of course, they are the building blocks of your body. So in order to maintain your body, you need these carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, amino acids, because amino acids we don't produce. So we have to depend on the plant kingdom. We need 20 amino acids for us to live. So all 20 is coming from not within us. We don't produce, so we have to depend on our food, right? So that's the root. So we get all our amino acids. You know, these amino acids are needed to produce proteins. Proteins are needed to build your muscles, the other requirements, your enzymes, whatever you need. The protein play an very extremely important role in your body. So now, but now these people, our ancestors knew that there is more than that within this food, more than this conventional nutrition. There is something within this food which is very beneficial to us. So it is not only our ancestors, but ancestors of other major civilizations, cultures like Chinese, the Indians, the Egyptians, and so on. They also knew that, you see. But when I look at, when I compare with the knowledge, the traditional knowledge of other cultures, the traditional knowledge what the Sri Lankans, we, our ancestors had, is enormous. It's very much, and it's almost all are documented, not like in other countries. You must be knowing, we are the only country who has a documented history of 2500 years. Even China, they have documented about 200 years back, about 200 years of their history, right? 200 years. We have the Mahavansa, 2500 years back. So we are the only country who has a documented history, only country of that extent, right? And also, I must tell you that I was fortunate to be author of Mahavansa, the recent edition on the science and technology chapter. So I'm the one who wrote the science and technology chapter in Mahavansa, the recent edition, right? So that was a blessing and a very fortunate situation. Only very, only very few people get that opportunity. So I had that opportunity. It's a recognition of my contribution to science and technology in this country. So I think we must boast little about your own self also. So I, I thought of doing that now also, because then somebody is there in this country who is knowledgeable about diverse disciplines, who has documented in the Mahavansa. Right. So then let us look at the what the Hippocrates told about about 2,500 3,000 years back. So he is the father of the modern medicine. Even he had mentioned that like this, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Okay, so what does it indicates? It indicates that your medicine has to be your food, not these pharmaceuticals what is given. You go to a doctor, he prescribe several pharmaceuticals. I'll talk about pharmaceuticals later. But what they are, the godfather, or they are the father of their medicine, or the Western medicine. He himself has told that, let food be your medicine and the medicine be your food. So that was about another 3,000 years back. The Hippocrates has told, and in fact, in Hippocrates' oath, it is there in about the food. But later on, they have dropped that, so that the Western medical people uh, are not much focusing on the benefits of the food in the management of health. So they basically depend only on, or they believe only on, the conventional nutrition, or so-called Western nutrition, that are mainly depend on protein, carbohydrates, lipids, amino acids, minerals, and so on. I hope you got my points by now. Let me show you what Ayurveda talks about this. Uh, Yeah, so Ayurveda says food that you make healthy can make you ill, and proper food habits keep you healthy, younger, and longer. So there you are. You have the correct point here. If you eat healthy foods, which is healthy to you, you will be healthy, younger, and you can live longer. So Ayurveda says there are certain foods that may not be good for you, so that you have to be careful about using that. So we don't know anything about these at this moment, or at this era, but our ancestors, they knew it, so that they avoid certain food. They avoid certain food in the morning, they avoid certain food in the for your lunch, they avoid certain food in your dinner. And in fact, dinner is not recommended by Lord Buddha even. So I mean, so there are scientific explanation for this, of course. But it says that you need to have good understanding about your food and the health benefits of your food. Okay, so with that, let me go to what is happening right now in the world. Now, this uh, about this uh, uh, the knowledge, or about this uh, functional properties of this food, became surface in the recent past to the scientific community in the world, and they started working on this. They wanted to know, okay, there are other nutritive values in this food other than the protein, carbohydrate, lipids, and so on. So I was fortunate to be part of the group working on this area in Japan. As soon as they started, I had the opportunity to go there and do my postdoc with them. So I became very much interested in. I realized that, oh my goodness, this is what they are now talking is what we had in our own traditional system. So then I started to explore our own traditional systems, and then so with that, I gathered all the knowledge, and my research was focused on the traditional knowledge base, food, and other biological active biodiversity in the country. Okay, so yes, let me now. This is very important. This one. Because now we all know that world is suffering from non-communicable diseases. It is non-communicable, but the rate is like a communicable disease. So because of that, the World Health Organization also wanted to look at, oh my goodness, what is happening in this world? Now everybody is dying out of non-communicable diseases or the fatal 5 diseases like cardiovascular disease, like hypertension, diabetes, ඔය අනාදී වශයෙන් තියෙන රෝගකාරක පහක් නිසා ලෝකයේ මිනිස්සු මේ යනවා. ලෝකයේ මේ යන මිනිස්සුන්ගෙන් 80ක් මේ යන්නේ මෙන්න මේ කාරණා නිසා. ඒ නිසා ලෝක සෞඛ්‍ය සංවිධානයත් they also want to look at what is the problem. So what are they telling? Okay, look at this statement. The rapidly growing epidemic of non-communicable disease, already responsible for some 60% of world deaths, is clearly related to changes in global dietary pattern and increased consumption of industrially processed fatty, salty, and sugary foods. So that is the WHO World Health Report 2002. So it's the same time that I started my postdoctoral work on these functional or health foods. So at the same time, this report also came out. So what WHO is suggesting for all the countries to go back to your traditional food pattern or traditional food practices. So that is what now we are also preaching or telling people to try and go back to let's go back to our traditional systems. This is what GMO is now after my explanations and my exposure about this, this particular important area. So I try to educate people, and through that I convinced Dr. Anuruddha Padeniya, the chairman GMO, president GMO, and all the other medical professionals, whenever I got the chance, the scientists, scientific community, to do this. Go back, let's go back. So nothing else. WHO recommends. So they are the good father next to Hippocrates is WHO. No? So let's listen to WHO. Let's go back. So this is why I'm very much interested in talking about this topic, because this is the only way out for everybody in this world. So you have to be careful, and we have to go back to our own traditional system of the food system, and also you have to look at always to use healthy foods. And now the West is turning back. They don't just eat; they always eat if there is anything that can contribute to their health. Now that era is gone. I know it's now the West is rapidly changing from the dietary habits to more conventional dietary habits, and they eat only if there is only health benefits to them. Okay. So yeah, I mean, what this slide shows you is now there is another area called nutraceutical, which you may have heard of. So food, the healthy foods, you call it functional food, and what is the derived from functional food, and you can convert it to capsules, tablets, and they are called nutraceuticals. So it's somewhat closer to drugs, but not drugs. It's in between food and drug. It is nutraceuticals. Now these are available in the world market to look after your health. So this is one of the opportunities that we have in this country to go into this particular industry, which is blooming at a rate. And for this particular industry, the health food, the functional food, cosmetics, cosmeceuticals, nutraceuticals. So this particular industry is booming at a rate, and what is predicted is it's a $5 trillion market by 2050. So it's a huge market. So just to give you some information regarding that. And then this was started actually in Japan in early 1980s to look to research on this particular area, and that was called functional food research on health related functions. And they were first coined the idea of physiologically functional foods, and then they started rethinking on these functional values of food, because they are the Japan, they have the higher number of elderly people. The elderly population is very high. So when they found that they are getting these non-communicable diseases, they started looking at why it is. So then they realized that it is due to this imported food that they started to eat. So that is why they started this research into this, to look at why this aging population is getting diseases that what they haven't had earlier. So they started this in 1980s. I'm just giving you some background. So they call it lifestyle related health problems, and also geriatric diseases. Geriatric diseases are the diseases that are found in the old age, and so they wanted to manage this through daily dietary practices. So that is how they started this research. So then then this interest shifted to the Europe as well. So they also wanted to start. Now you can see what European Body of International Life Science Institute addressing this issue. It says we stand today at the threshold of a new frontier in nutritional science, and also that the concept of food is changing from past emphasis on eating to get rid of hunger into a current emphasis on promising users of food to reduce the chronic illnesses. Right, okay, so that is also there. Now I told you about the non-communicable diseases, or the diseases that now we face. Everybody basically are having blood sugar, having hypertension, having put one or two stents by now. Then you have the arthritis problem, maybe. So your muscles are not as strong as earlier. So many lifestyle related diseases are now there in almost all of us. So if you look at the statistics of Sri Lanka WHO, you can see that the 83% of deaths occurring in this country is due to these non-communicable diseases. 34% are due to cardiovascular problems. 14% are due to cancer. 9% are due to diabetics. So you can see it is almost the people who die are dying out of these non-communicable diseases, which can be preventable, through your diet. Okay, so this is not only I mean, these are not this is not the scenario only this country. It is the same scenario what when we look at the world also, even in developed countries. Let me show you the Australia. What is the rate? 89% of deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. Cardiovascular disease 28%, cancer 29%, other chronic respiratory diseases 7%. If you look at the diabetics, of course 3%, they are somewhat all right, but still overall 89% deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. So that's a very much the justification for me to convince you all to look at the health foods and to educate whom your clients are and the friends and your family to look at your dietary habit, and you have to eat healthy foods. Okay, right. So I research on this area because my team, where I worked in Japan, they were looking at various aspects of controlling the diseases through diet, like diabetics, cardiovascular disease, cancer, osteoporosis, allergies, and maybe even infectious diseases, because your immune system is also depend on your food habit or diet. Okay, so that I must emphasize, because now we are in the pandemic, so people are dying. Although why we are dying? Because our immunity system is not strong enough to fight against the virus, and maybe we eat a lot of toxins with our food, because we like nothing. We applied all these pesticides, fertilizers, kill our soil. I will talk about that as well. And I think President Gotabaya Rajapaksa took a very wise decision to go back to our traditional agricultural practices without these toxins. Of course, toxins has created a havoc all over the world, including Sri Lanka. Our cancer rate is alarming, alarming. So I'm not going to go into those statistics, but it's alarming. So okay, so that's the WHO report 2002, just to show you. I mean, like, this is available in the WHO the headquarters here at the Bullis Road. If anybody is interested, you can ask for a copy, or you can download this, and it says, please go back to your traditional food habit. So that is what I just put this. Okay, so let's get into our traditional system. We all know our country is full of traditional knowledge. You all know better than me, I believe, because you are familiar with this. Our cascade system, the Vavai Daga by Vavai Pansalai, the story, the food that we ate, all these. If you take any one of these, if you ask me to give some health properties, I can give you. I mean, like, the spices. We thought that we use spices for the taste. No, not at all. It is not for the taste we use. It is due to the health benefits that these spices carried. And we are a spice island, and we were invaded 2-3 times because of spice. And we are known in the world from our ancient time because of cinnamon, you can remember. And any one of these, you put karapincha. Do you think that you put karapincha to your curry because you want to get the aroma? No. Do you think you put kaha to make the curry yellow? No. That's an additional advantage. But that gives you enormous health benefits when you put kaha into your curry. Gammiris. Okay, it gives you a good taste, and you have a good you get a you through that you encourage to eat more, of course. And but kha and gummeries, you have to have both in your curry in order to get the real health benefit of kha. So this is very interesting. These are all scientifically very well proved in the world now. So kaha, the active components, I'll talk about that. To absorb into your system, you need gummies. I'll tell you why. The gummies carries another compound called piperine. That piperine helps you to absorb in ample quantities. It increases the absorption by 2,000 times if you put gummies or pepper into your curry. So now the capsules are available in the world market out of turmeric, but they add little piperine or pepper into that capsule, because in order to increase the absorption. So this knowledge, this was there with our ancestors. This was there, right? So this is what I am trying to explain to you today with some evidence. Okay, You all know I don't want to talk to you about this, the archaeological marvels what we have, the architectural marvels we had, the paintings, the raw materials used for this paint still there. So how did our ancestors knew about this? These are documented. You all can find this. We all can find this. It's in this Ola leaf text and many other texts. And we all know that we had very knowledgeable, even kings that are knowledgeable about our medical system. And we know that we are the first country to have a hospital, well organized hospital. And the excavations have shown that the surgical tools that was used many centuries ago are very much similar to the tools that we use these days. You can see here the same. But these archaeological excavations date back to about several hundred years, and we had this Behetoruva. We had all these medicinal combinations. Now, Western medicine also now coming back to this combined treatment. Not only one drug like earlier. So this is what we have practiced over many centuries, you see. So they are also now coming back, and I will tell you, I'll show you. You won't believe 75% of the present drugs prescribed in the Western pharmacopoeia, in the Western pharmacies, what is available are coming from plant kingdom. This plant kingdom, what we have, I'll show you. I have examples to show you. Okay, so all these knowledge are documented. It's in black and white, either in the normal books forms or in oral leaf forms, right? And some are, of course, tacit knowledge, and some are, of course, in folk knowledge. So our ancestors, they know. Our ancestors singing our Siya Achi no, so I mean, like, they gave us very well get a kottamalli when we get flu-like symptoms. I mean, like, I have experimented and proved that how when you get a kottamalli increase your immunity, scientifically proved, right? I'll talk about that as well. So we are a very blessed country, right? Being at the tip of the India, in the Indian Ocean, we are the highest biodiversity for 10,000 square kilometers in Asia, and we are one of the 25 biodiversity hotspots in the world. And we have a very high proportion. It is maybe about 25 to 28%. I am not very much sure about whether it is 25 or 28% endemicity. That's very huge endemicity in the sense those plants and animals that are found in this country is unique to this country. You don't find them in anywhere else in the world. So I'm not going to go into detail. Better than me. So we have a huge resource around us in the sea, about 25 times the size of our country. We have exclusive economic zone with us. So some more are to be given. So we are working towards that. One of my colleagues is working towards that, and hopefully we will get about a huge area, which is we cannot imagine even, not more than what is now at the moment. What we have is about 500,000 square kilometers. So more than that we will be getting. Okay, and so for our traditional knowledge, we have some advantage of our geo positioning, right, or the geographical position in between the large continents. So you know about Silk Road. So from the east, from the west, they all went across to through passing our country. So they have brought their knowledge also and nourished our traditional knowledge much. So that was a blessing and an advantage that we had to have this kind of high density of traditional knowledge within our country. Okay, So now when I studied my health food work in Japan, I got this from that this is their concept. I'll talk about this now. May I ask a small question from Ruan? Am I too fast, or are you getting what I am telling?
Uh, no, Professor, you are perfectly all right.
Okay,
So
right. So that
I'm all right. I hope the others also. But if
yeah,
anyone needs clarification,
yeah.
so
If you want to clarify anything,
they
you
can
always can
ask.
disturb and ask from me, right? Because I want to give the best as much as I can, right? Best out of you want to you have to get best out of this talk 1.5 hours. So so this is what the Japanese were thinking about the health, right? So we are if you are in a healthy state, you need to have food as your nutrition source. Of course, we know that, right? But at the same time, they are of the view that we are in a healthy to semi-healthy state always. Okay, so we are in equilibrium. Of course, we are in equilibrium. All of a sudden, we may get sick, right? So we are in a equilibrium. So we always have to keep the equilibrium towards health side. So that is the purpose. So in order to do that, what they suggest is to use functional food or health foods, right? So health foods drive this equilibrium towards health. So if you eat health food, you will not be going to a kind of a unhealthy state. So that is what they are telling. So okay, right? If you don't, and if you from health to semi-health, and semi-health can go into a disease stage. So disease stage, right? So then what happened? If you get the disease, then you will have to use medicine, right? So obvious, we know that, right? But in our traditional knowledge, it is not so, right? Because it says, right? Our ancestors knew about this, and they knew about that you have to have healthy or functional foods in order to be healthy. But at the same time, they knew that certain foods, no, you should not eat. It's a not a blanket decision. Individually, you should know, like some people get allergies when you eat pineapple. So so you don't eat pineapple. Some people get immune reactions if you eat crustaceans like isokakulu, right? So you should know that, and then you should not eat those. So that, I mean, very fundamental things, you see. So that, of course, they knew, right? So because they suggest, therefore they recommend, okay, don't eat, right? And then also they tell, okay, right, now this is now if you eat kiribat, oh yes, you get you will feel sleepy. So if you start to drive 200, 300 kilometers early in the morning, so which fool will eat kiribat? If you know the traditional knowledge, you don't eat. So it's like that. So in the traditional knowledge, what our Siyatachi was telling is very true, right? So in English also you call it grandma's, knowledge. Yeah, of course, yes. So those are very true, and so many are there. So you don't eat certain, like mungata. You don't eat in the night, right? Because okay, so what is that? That's sita, like so like that. So there are so many about this functional food. So many things. So I mean, like so you may go into semi healthy state if you eat these unwanted things, and even now from that state to ill state. So what now? You see now when you go into that level, so you have to eat functional food to go back to this healthy state, and at the same time you can see you have to with the medicine also you have to use healthy foods. That is there in our traditional system of medicine. So they recommend, while giving the treatment, they also give you a recommendation for your food, right? You eat only this, not others. So that is where these functional food stories play in the role. Okay, so that's my explanation the Japanese. So this is my proposal to them. So they believe on that. The one that I showed you from previous slide is what they were formulated. This is what I formulated, and I told them that this is how this is happening in Sri Lanka. So they of course accepted, and now they are looking at that as well. So that is how I promoted my country in Japanese society, scientific society. Okay, now what we people we eat, the bulk is coming from rice. So, so obvious, then you have to eat the healthy rice, right? So very simple. Now you see, our per capita consumption is about 110 kilograms. One person per year, you eat 110 kilograms. So we get calories 45% from that. And beauty of that is we get 40% of protein from our rice, right? So, which means our rice carries quite a lot of proteins also. So we don't need to depend on meat for our protein much, right? So we have about, now the green revolution took place about 50, 60 years back, right? Before that, we all ate rice, our traditional rice. So then this improved rice came. So what is available now in the market is mostly these improved rice varieties. So during this process, many health related properties may have dropped. So that we have looked at, and I will explain that as well to you. So we usually had about 200 to 3,000 traditional or indigenous rice varieties in this country. In this country, earlier we had 2,000 to 3,000 different rice varieties in this country. Keep that in mind. You can tell your clients, okay, we were a blessed country with this number of traditional rice varieties grown in this beautiful, highly diverse country. So now anyway, with this population increase, land degradation, for many reasons, now we have lost most of those, but we have about 300 preserved in Gannoru Plant Genetic Resource Center. So agriculture department has a center called Genetic Resource Center at Veradeniya. There they have stored this as a gene pool to preserve these traditional rice varieties. So from that, we have about 60 different traditional rice varieties among our traditional farmers, right? So when I did my study on the health benefits of traditional rice about close to 20 years back, I started this, and I did uncover the health benefits, the beautiful health benefits of these rice varieties. And when I disclose this information through the media and through various other means, papers published internationally, and also the news articles and so on, then the people get excited and started cultivation of these traditional rice varieties. So that you will see now the traditional rice varieties in the market. So I'll show you what beauty these traditional rice varieties carries. So in the traditional system also, each of these different rice varieties, we had a health benefit claim in traditional knowledge. For example, if you take Bethina tea, so it says it is suitable for diabetic patients. Used to make porridge for patients intoxicated with snake venom. නයි ගැව්වම කැඳ හදලා දෙනවා බේත් හිනටි වලින්. So අපේ ancestors දැනගෙන හිටියා, right? And then pacha perumal, if you take pacha perumal, suitable for diabetic patient, suitable for small children, right? Raddal cures diseases associated with urinary system, prevents stones in bladder and gallbladder, suitable for patients with pulmonary system. Pulmonary system means your lungs. So it's good for your pulmonary system, good for your lungs, including diseases like diabetes, right? suitable for patients having fever. ඉතින් අපිට උණ ගත්තම කැඳ හදලා දුන්නානේ බොන්න. Improve sexual strength, something very important for all of us, right? So that is there in the traditional system, okay? Then if you take Mavi, controls corpulence, suitable for patients with diabetics, tuberculosis, constipation, hemorrhoids. You see, Kuruvi improves immunity. Oh my goodness, very important nowadays. Improve your immunity. Madatavalu, improve your immunity. Ratkanda, improve your immunity. Sudru Samba, improve your immunity. Why are we not eating? We all are flock of fools, donkeys. Having all this, we are eating rubbish. I mean, okay. Kaluhinati. Reduce toxins in the body, very important. Now when you live, naturally toxins get built up. So your urinary system is there to clean day-to-day toxins. But there are other toxins, what is accumulated in various parts of your body. That also should be removed. Otherwise you get sick. So this we have been doing in our, with our traditional knowledge. Every year maybe in intervals we api bada vireka kala. We purge our system, but we don't do that. So purging is one of the methods that our system of knowledge use to get rid of other toxins. So you, in intervals, you have to do it. My mother, my father, they gave me this treatment in every 6 months, right? But now, no, we are not doing that. So this accumulated toxin causes various problems in your system. So there you are. Now you can see Kalu Hinati reduces toxins in the body. Facilitate is excretion. That's you reduce your constipation. Grow body strength. Your strength will come. So Suvandal, you see, support a balanced growth of body, improves clearness of voice, easy create excretory activities, improve sexual strength, so on. So I mean, like, we are fools, I must tell you, including myself maybe, but I am of course eating these rice varieties now. But in our in my mother's father was the farmer who actually gave these traditional rice varieties to his village. He's the storehouse. So we have been eating this until we moved to Colombo. Now of course I get traditional rice from my friend farmers. They send me, so I eat traditional rice. I also put a little turmeric into my tea in the morning. I eat, of course, tea in the morning, and I drink it. One way of controlling your unwanted things happening within your body. And I also, in intervals, put half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder and to my tea, or the plain tea, and I drink it. So there are so many things that you can do. You have so many things in your garden, in your in your village. So many things with traditional health benefits. Okay, so let me go into little science now. I think I have taken 1 hour now. We started at 10:15, so I have taken 1 hour of your time, but I can go on if you wish. I can go on, but I think I have gave you substantial background about the health, food, and what is available in this country. So if Ruan, do you think that I should continue? I can go on even for another half an hour.
Yes, doctor.
Okay,
Yes,
right,
please.
right. So we are going to science, right? Okay, right. Now,
All right.
what I am showing in this slide is in that book it says plant drug analysis, right? I told you that most of these drugs, what you are taking from the doctor's prescription, are coming from these plants, right? So I will show you what are those plants. We have several plants in our country which is known to you all, but there are, I think, it is innumerable. I mean, like, we have a huge resource where we can look for drugs. So that's I must tell you. So now we have a technique called chromatography, right? Where we can extract materials from this any plant, right? This is a mushroom, any plant, and we can subject it to this technique called chromatography, where it can separate whatever compounds within this plant. One by one, you can separate and you can identify what are those compounds. That is how we identify those compounds and then develop into a drug. Aspirin, yes, it's in a plant, right? It's in a plant. The most selling drug, it celebrates its 100 years of existence about 20 years back, if I remember correct. That is aspirin, and it's coming from a willow plant. So how do you get it? You take an extract from that and then you separate using this technique called chromatography, which is I'm very much competent on that. I'm an isolation chemist as well. So I have isolated several of these kind of drugs during my research work. So this shows you now when you do a chromatogram, you can see some bands like thing in this various bands. Yes. So each of these band represent one compound. And you can imagine how many number of compounds that are there in a plant. Thousands. Usually a plant carries about 200,000 different molecules, biosynthetically produced by that plant. So any one of these compound can be a drug, can be a molecule that help you to control your disease. So you are taking huge number of compounds in the plant every day with your food, every day with your food. So don't you think that those compounds that you are taking into your body should be healthy, should make you healthy, or should those make you ill? So it should make you healthy. So in our system, we have the liver where it can destroy many of the unwanted compounds, but it doesn't destroy the beneficial ones, right? So that's the nature. So out of this, any one of these compound can be, antiviral. So it can be, maybe it can cure corona. So we don't know. So some people who really eat this healthy food may not get in this virus and die, right? We don't know. No, not everybody is dying, no, right? Even though some get corona and they are very good, we don't know even they are having corona or not, right? So from their diet, they must be getting few of these compounds that can go and kill the virus, or that can go and prevent entry of virus. I have worked on this also. I know uh, there are few spices that are good in that. So I'm still working on that. Okay. So that's the science of these compounds, and I will show you now few more examples. Now, if you take turmeric or the kaha, well-known kaha, this is a plant. We call it. It's a miracle plant, right? And it's a multifunctional plant. It has multifunctional phytochemicals. It has multifunctional phytochemicals with synergistic effects. What is synergistic effect? If two get together, the effect is more. Like friends, when they get together, you can do magics, right? Maybe individually you can't. So that is synergism. And also additive effects. And if you have two good, strong people, you can lift a heavy one. But alone you can't. So that is additive effect, right? Synergistic, somehow you promote that, right? And then you see now in Ayurveda, in our traditional medicine, uh, kaha is one of the important ingredient. And also we know that in our ancestral knowledge, kaha is used for to control bacteria and viruses, because you spray kaha in the morning, especially our friends in the north, they are using very much kaha. They apply kaha in the skin, and this is a miracle plant, and it is anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, anti-cardiovascular problems. You name it, you have many different health benefits from kaha. Kaha even now good for Alzheimer. So that is why now these capsules are being developed in the West, and also in Australia. One of the physicians from Australia came and met me to develop a capsule out of kaha. So they are mixing kaha plus fish oil because their palate is not very much. I think the alimentary canal is not positive response for pepper maybe. So that may be the reason. But now that oil also increase the bioavailability or the absorption of kaha into our system. Right. Okay. That is about kaha. Then I told you about the immunity. Now you know this Suvadarani is now is available from Ayurvedic department. So in Suvadarani, what do you have? You have Kottamalli, Venivelgata, Vialinguru, Saha, Hingaratta. So I have worked on all these plants, and I have looked at their immunity enhancing properties. Of course, it's increase your immunity, both humoral and cellular immunity, which is very important for you to get rid of from viruses. So the scientific name is Coriandrum sativum, that is Kottamalli, Cocinium fenestratum, that is Venivelgata, Syngiba officinale, you must be knowing, it's Inguru, and Alpinia calcarata is Aratta, Hing Aratta. Right. So those are the international publications that I have done on Kottamalli Venivelgata concoction. It increases both innate and cell-mediated immunity. This is the one that I have worked on Hingaratta, which is anti-inflammatory, which is very important when it comes to corona, definitely, because people are dying out of cytochrome storm. Alpinia or the Karatta can control the cytochrome or the inflammatory response in the body. Okay, so another example is Kothala Himbutu. It is one of the Sri Lankan plant that has gained so much of name in the world and so much of patents out of this, so much of publications out of this. So I also have worked on this, and I have worked on all parts of Kothala Himbutu. Kothala Himbutu is good for diabetic, I'll tell you. Now, if you look at this graph, if some are maybe familiar with these graphs, acarbose is the available drug, Western drug, and salicylic is the compound, bioactive compound that is found in Kotalimbutu plant. And we drink Kotalimbutu. We boil and drink Kotalimbutu, right? And it's recommended in Ayurveda. And you can see there is no difference between the Western drug and Kotalimbutu boiled water. It's same. I mean, effect is same. So why do you want to go for this Western drug when we are having this simple, decoction to drink? So that's just to show you some idea about it. So we have worked on this, and even the leaf, the twigs, the stem, every part of this plant is having anti-diabetic properties, and it controls blood sugar by blocking the alpha glucosidase and alpha amylase, the enzymes that are responsible for breakdown of sugar in the stomach. So it blocks breakdown of sugars and the starch, so that your sugar level will not go up. And at the same time, in the liver, it blocks liver storage of liver store sugars, and whenever when it is necessary, it breakdowns back to glucose and it release. So in diabetics, there is no control for that. So even though you don't eat, your blood sugar level will go up, because there are stores in the liver, and that can be released to the bloodstream again. So Kotalimputu blocks that as well, right? And then glycation, that is another process. So diabetic, just because you have blood sugar high in your circulation or in your blood, it doesn't make any problem. But there is a process called glycation, where the glucose goes and bind to your protein, and that complexes cause all the problems of diabetics, all the problems of diabetics. like kidney problems, the liver problems, the eye problems, the heart problem, the artery problem, hypertension, you name it, wound, the wound problems, all those. The reason is this binding of the glucose to your proteins, and Kothal can block that binding. So that's a very important property. This is for the first time in the world. My team is reporting that Kotalimbutu has this property. And I'll tell you, Masurang, the rice, also has the same property. I'll talk about that. So you know about Kotalimbutu. I don't want to talk to you about. I don't recommend drinking water from this mug, because this mug may, due to the moisture, it may have fungus within that, which you don't see because it's maybe in the walls. So that fungal toxins might cause you problems. So I don't recommend this. So I developed a biscuit out of Kotalahimbutu, and Manchi is marketing this now. It is available in the supermarkets, you can see. And also now this is exported to various other countries by Manchi. Out of Kotalahimbutu, there are tablets, there are other preparations in the Japanese market. This is very popular in Japanese market. There are other plants like musbed, that is also good for diabetic. Musbed is very famous. It's available in the world market in capsule form for diabetic. The major exporter is India, but we have musbed in Sri Lanka also. Okay, so you know this Valpenilla. Valpenilla is available in any part of the world, but the property that we are very much interested is known only by our ancestors. Valpenilla කෑවම මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. Okay, let me explain that. So Valpenilla කෑවම මොකද වෙන්නේ කියන එක, it gives you a good uh, good idea from this particular cartoon here. Yeah, so if you, there's a Soloka, right? Valpenada Saka, Gitalem Malavalaka, Landun Pataneka, Landun Dasak, Wada Sanasa. So Valpenada has that property. Yes, experimentally proved, right? It increase libido, it increase male sexual vigor, and it increase and sustain erection. It's like Viagra. You know Viagra better than me, most of you all in this particular industries. I know that they are very good in this. So the Viagra, it does block the breakdown of nitric oxide in your organ, in your penis. Once it is to increase the penis, you need nitric oxide in your system, and nitric oxide is produced and break down. That's the natural process. It release, breakdown, release, breakdown. If you don't have equilibrium, if the breakdown is fast, then you cannot maintain the erection. So Viagra blocks that process and keep the nitric oxide for a longer period, so your erection will be maintained. So the same thing is happening with Valpenilla. Right. So this is another plant, Ecavaria. It's available. This is a drug available in the world market, right? Reserpine, which is used for as anti-arrhythmic drugs. When you have arrhythmia in your heart, this is the drug that is used, right? So this Ecavaria, you will be able to explain your clients. If you find Ecavaria when you're taking your clients to the field, show that and tell that this has a compound called reserpine that is used for heart diseases, right? So this is one of the very earliest drug that was isolated from plants and used as the cardiovascular treatment. So this is this plant, right? Minimal. And this photo, of course, I took from my mother's garden at Piliandala. And so now this particular drug called vincristine is produced from this plant. This is the most selling drug, anti-cancer drug, called vincristine and vinblastine. There are two compounds in this, and which is used for childhood leukemia. So 90%, 99% recovery is there if you treat the child who is having leukemia with this particular drug, still extracting from this plant. It is available minimal. කනත්තවල තියෙන. You see, but now what Sri Lanka is not doing anything on this, because there are plants in plantations in other countries. They extract from this, and these are very complex compound. You can see the compound, the chemical nature of this drug is given here in this. It is very complex molecule. This is the chemical structure. It is a very complex molecule. So it is called, in scientific terms, it is Catharanthus roseus, right? And then this is another interesting anti-cancer drug called Taxol. This is obtained from this particular plant called Taxus brevifolia. You find this plant in the temperate regions. We don't find this plant in Sri Lanka. If anyone of have come across at least something like this, please tell me, because I want to study on that, because it might contain anti-cancer. This is the most promising anti-cancer drug in the world, treatment for cancers like ovarian, testis, metastatic breast cancers, neck, head, neck, lung, and melanoma. So this is also obtained from this particular plant. So that is why I told you most of these drugs are coming from the plant kingdom, and also now most of the anti-cancer drugs are coming from the sea organisms, right? So most of these steroidal drugs, or your contraceptive pill, the ladies who take the pill every day to prevent unwanted pregnancies, that's the starting material is coming from this අලවර්ග. අපි රටේ තියෙනවා මේ වගේ අලවර්ග ගොඩක් ಜಾති වැල් අල එතකොට මොනවා දණ්ඩිල යන ඩයස්කෝරියා ෆැමිලි එකේ. So මේ steroidal drugs ගන්න මෙන්න මේ plant එකේ. Okay, so then very interesting, not only plants, the animals also gives us drugs. Now this is a Brazilian snake. You know, the antihypertensive කාටද මේ අධික රුධිර පීඩනය තියෙන කට්ටිය දන්නවා මේ කැප්ට්‍රොපිල් සහ ඇනරපිල් කියන ඖෂධ දෙක. එක තමයි දැන් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ to control your hypertension. So that drugs are derived from this particular snake, right? Metformin. I think almost everybody is taking metformin who has diabetic or the blood sugar. So that is coming from this particular plant. I think you must have seen this plant in our wild also, right? If you come across this kind of a plant when you are taking your clients or your friends or your families, please remember that this plant has a very important medicine called metformin. Then I told you about aspirin. Aspirin is actually came from this plant called willow plant. That was, I think, in 1899. They isolated this compound from this plant, and because this plant was used by the ancient people to get rid of fever. So from that, knowing that, they isolated this compound, and now the aspirin is available for all of us to use. Now about morphine. Morphine is the most potent painkiller in the world. It was isolated in 1826, about 200 years back. But you see, still that is the only drug available to manage the severe pain. And also, you know, now heroin is a derivative of this morphine. I'll show you. Now morphine is coming from poppy, right? Poppy plant. When the pod is damaged, you get this latex coming out. So this is there where you have the morphine, right? So you extract morphine, mostly happening in this Central Asia, where Afghanistan, so that region. So that they are the Afghans. They you know, extract this from this poppy plant, and it's you know, they produce heroin from that very easily in a saucepan like this. It's very easy because you can see this is the chemical structure. Morphine is two hydroxyl groups are there, but you know, only difference is here in heroin. So you put acetic acid to this morphine, you can convert morphine into heroin. And codeine, the other drug, you can see, only difference is that only this place you can see, right? So it's very interesting. Right. So it's I told you the animals, they are also giving drugs. Now these are the poisonous frogs you must have heard of. You don't find these poisonous frogs, of course, in our jungles, but these are mainly found in the South American jungles. Very beautiful, very colorful, but still they carry a very poisonous substance within their skin. So if you touch, they immediately excrete those, eject those toxins, very toxic, highly toxic, and it is 200 times potent than, that is the compound epibetidine. It is 200 times potent than morphine. Still has not come as a drug, but there are experiments taking place about this drug. Papol, one of the important plant for papaverine, right? Gotukola, you know that, right? It's all available we have been eating, but now I don't think we eat, but we can't eat also because a lot of pesticides are applied. So, but important brain stimulants, memory stimulants are there within Gotukola. Senehe, you must have seen this plant, Senehe. So from this, there's a tablet called Senocot. Senocot is very important drug in the West because this is used for constipation. So you need that. Then Murunga, I told you, can prevent your gastric problems. You can get rid of gastric problems. And also sea slugs, very beautiful sea slugs, even around our sea, you have the sea slugs, very beautiful, very interesting. You can see very beautiful different, but they carry very important medicines within them. I can show you. I have worked on one of these slugs when I started my research early in 90s, and I isolated painkiller from that one. So about the rice, the most important one, I have worked with rice for about last 10 to 15 years. And this is very important. This is the encyclopedia of the Pliny the Elder. In that encyclopedia, in chapter 24, there is a note on Taprobane, that is our country. Now it says that the people looks upon 100 years as a comparatively short life. ඒ කාලේ අපේ මිනිස්සු අවුරුදු 100ක් කියන්නේ බොහොම කෙටි ආයුෂ කාලයක් කියලා තමයි විශ්වාස කළේ. ඒ නිසා අපි විශ්වාස කරන අපේ මුතුන් මිත්තෝ අවුරුදු 125ක් 30ක්වත් නිරෝගීව ජීවත් වෙන්න ඇති කියලා. And then if you take this Robert Knox book, there also he says even at the age of 80, Ceylonese are very healthy and active. Okay, so that's count for our healthy diets what we have been having. So we studied 26 different rice varieties for their health benefits. 26. That's my field at Homagama. Mr. Guru Singh helped me. He cultivated certain rice varieties for me for my experiments. That's my PhD student, Kanchana, Dr. Kanchana Abesekara. And we studied and we found that Godahinati, Masuran, Suduhinati, and Dikwi is extremely important for the management of these chronic diseases. So on that you can see, I'm not going to go into details because these are all science, but they are extremely important. Some of the better than some of the Western medicines that have been prescribed by Western doctors today. Yes, I think I don't want to go into those. I have published this book is available in the internet. If you go to internet, Helpful Properties of Traditional Rice in Sri Lanka, published in Germany, German publisher Lambert, and all our work on traditional rice is given in this book. So we have developed many products out of these traditional rice health products at ITI. And you see now these traditional rice varieties are available in the market. I'm really happy because it's my work actually induced this bloom in this particular area of the traditional rice. So now the traditional rice are back in the market so that the people can eat, and at least if they are still a little expensive, but at least if anybody interested can if they can have at least once a week කැඳ වගේ විවත් that will be beneficial for you for your health. cinnamon ගැන කිව්වේ නැත්නම් if I don't talk about cinnamon, that will be not nice, because that is the king of spices. So I have studied cinnamon also extensively, a range of health benefits. I also have conducted a clinical trial with the medical faculty at Colombo University, and it shows that it is very beneficial for the diabetic people to control their blood sugar and the lipid profile. Okay. And also, this is Professor Ada Yonata. She's the Israeli Nobel Prize winner for chemistry. She's working on two compounds called lankamycin and lankacidine. These two compounds are from our own soil, taken by some German scientists in 1960s, and this is available as a drug in Japanese market for veterinary users. But this Professor Ada Yonata is working on these two compounds now for methicillin resistant staphylococcus disease, which is a very deadly disease. People are dying, millions are dying out of this disease because you don't have any antibiotic to control this bacteria. So that's me next to Ada Yonata. So she's a friend of mine. I made a friendship with her in, I think, in early 90s, since she's working on these Sri Lankan natural products. So she also became interested that I'm Sri Lankan, and so since we are working on the same area, so we have some understanding between two of us. So about these toxins, I must tell you, I told you that I will tell you about toxins. Now this, when you apply these toxins to the soil, the fertilizers, synthetic fertilizers, the toxins, then the bacteria that is there in our soil, very unique bacteria in this particular beautiful God-gifted land, we have a unique system of microflora within our soil. So by applying these pesticides, by applying these fertilizers without any concern about these organisms, now we have killed this soil. We have killed this soil. So these are the organisms that produce these important, help to produce these important in these plants. Okay. So if you don't have these microorganisms, they are not in a position to produce these important molecules that are beneficial for our health. So if you keep on killing this soil, we will lose this bacteria. Therefore, now this decision to stop application of these toxic chemicals to soil is very important to preserve our life in the future, for the future generations. We, of course, we have eaten enough of rubbish by now, but at least now we should stand for this decision, because this will help to restore our dead soils and introduce our own microorganisms, which we actually blessed with, or it's a God gift to this country. This unique microflora, the bacteria and the fungus within this soil is helping the plants to produce the unique taste that we have, the unique aroma that we have, the unique health beneficial compounds that these plants carry for our health. So I think I have taken too much of time. I'm not going to go into this Kitul thing. Kitul also one thing that I have studied and mastered and introduced to the uh, to these poor villagers for them to have a lifeline. So that's all. I think I have done a reasonable coverage for everything. So Kitul can be easily tapped. Now you don't need. We
Doctor,
have developer. Yes,
excuse me.
yeah,
Can we have another lecture, part two?
sure. We can have part two on Kitul maybe.
I
Okay,
think this is very important.
okay.
This
So we'll
ketone
do it.
production, all. I
I
mean,
told. I
everyone
told.
should
In
know
fact,
this as a national tour guide.
yeah. I will do that. I'm very much happy to do it. So we won a world award also, the Innovation Award 2016 for our Kitul work. I think with that, let me conclude my lecture, and thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, and also talking to you guys. Important sector of the economy. Of course, I know that you all are these days having a hard time because of the industry. It's not a very conducive environment for the industry to flourish. But hopefully, the things will be settled soon, and you will have a chance to tell what I have told you all to your guests, and educate them, and fly our flag around the world. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah, any questions? I'm okay.
Yes, anybody has questions, please?
Ruan,
Yes.
yeah, Ruan, I think I have suggested. I don't know. You all agreed. We just have another lecture on this topic.
Of course. Yes. 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 You may.
Dr. Sirimal?
I'm okay. I'm always there to impart my knowledge to my fellow citizens. So I'm ready. I can do it. I will find time to do that. And also, my good friend Nalin is there. I'm sure he must have excited by now with my lecture because I don't.
I think
I'm sure he don't know about my work. In Japan, and after we of course I think Nalin also can speak now. If you want to tell anything.
Uh,
no. This is very valuable lecture, Doctor.
Yeah,
I think as well as the whole community.
yeah,
excuse
And,
me.
we would like
yes,
to have one. Another one.
okay.
I'm Sampath Pereira.
Yes, Sampath.
I'm Sampath Pereira. As the president of Professional Tour Guide Lectures Alliance, I would
Yes,
like to thank you, my friend, and our
welcome.
treasurer of our association, of course, intelligent person, Mr. Nalin, for introducing you to our first webinar. And you had, Doctor, sir,
Yes,
you have
yes,
shared a great knowledge with our small knowledge,
sure.
especially free of charge today.
Yeah,
So I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you a healthy, wealthy, long life on behalf of Professional Tour Guide Alliance.
thank you.
You are a great treasure to our country. Also hope that you will be able to share your knowledge with more people. And I would like to also be looking forward to continue working with you, sir,
Yes,
for some more activities with our alliance. So thank you very much. Thank you very much
okay,
for
welcome.
wasting all your valuable time for us. And thank you very much, Nalin. And thank you all the participants, and especially as host Ruanaya. Thank you. And sir, I think you like music, no?
Okay,
Yeah, I I play for you one part in
yeah.
the music. It's called Sihina Mavan Netia Haseuset Taniya Lang Venna Samaharadu Ahena Dakina Deval Kotaram Tipunada Hadata Denina Deval Eteramban Siravena Devatila Netinam Simavata Nidahase Igililayam Ekarana.
Thank you.
It's for
Super.
you. Yes,
Thank you. Shamal, The flyer that you have done for this, you have done a flyer now for this
Different
about the
talents.
today's lecture.
Ruanaya.
Ruan,
Ruanaya. Ruanaya.
you are muted, Ruan.
Ruan.
Sorry? Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah,
Yes, you talked about the flyer.
yeah. I didn't get that flyer because I need that flyer as a record for me.
Doctor, it's actually the flyer in the sense, Doctor, we wrote about the meeting and we published your profile, but you have also shared at the beginning of the presentation.
True. Now it's black and white. I need it as a compilation
All
for me,
right. Yeah, we
reference
can
for
send it
me.
to you.
Yeah,
We can
and
send it to you, Doctor.
yeah, and
Yes.
also if you can from your organization, if you can send me a thanking note for the
Yes, yes. We can do that.
lecture, so
We can certainly do that.
that will add to my credentials.
Okay. Yeah,
We
we'll do
will
that.
do. We will do it in our
Yeah,
letter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yeah,
The question is, Doctor, now that this attempt that has been taken to convert Sri Lankan agriculture complete into bio-organic agriculture, is it doable or
yeah. Of course,
it is?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So,
No
I mean,
problem. I mean, like, we have been doing this, before about 50 years back, but we have been doing this, no,
that
for
is
our,
true. That is true, doctor. But my question is now with the rise of the population and the consumption also, the amount of consumption is like quite high. And now, I mean, we convert our agriculture into organic, and I mean, we are not in all these what we consume that we are self-sufficient. So in that manner, doctor, now let's say our product is like, let's say we convert everything into organic and all what we have is organic, but then we are not self-sufficient with our production, so we have to import. I mean, we have to import paripu and we have to import sago or whatever. I mean, quite a lot, right? I mean, even green gram, mung atta, and all those things are coming from overseas. So, I mean, how do you? I mean, now, are we going to import also only organic products? Because I
no,
mean,
no,
it
no,
doesn't go far in
no,
that case, doctor.
no, not necessary, not necessary. No, now when you say organic, uh,
Okay,
the country can go into 100% organic. That is the best,
okay,
but we
okay,
may not be able to do that, as you said.
okay,
Yeah, but we have to have at least 70-80% of our consumption from organic stuff. That is why I told you, like, now this traditional rice, you may not be able to eat for the whole week. I mean, like, if you take a week,
okay,
but at
okay,
least one or two will help you.
okay,
So there will be a transition stage, of course. But one important thing is that we have somehow to protect our soil.
it is,
Yeah,
it
so
is
now
most
we have
important.
killed that already, so
It
we
is,
have to restore it. Now if you keep on adding fertilizers further, the soil is no more fertile. I mean, like, you don't have any microbes to convert even the synthetic fertilizers that you add to the soil, so the
okay,
yield will definitely go down. Now,
okay,
to tell you, in Sri Lanka, we are very much blessed. With these thunders that happen in intervals in Sri Lanka, with that water, rainwater, a certain quantum of nitrogen is normally
there,
coming. So you can easily, from a paddy field, you can take about 2 tons without any fertilizer.
okay,
So to get this additional one or two, you are putting these toxins. I
yeah,
mean, it's absurd. So, I mean, like, it's possible. I mean, like, straightforward answer is that. So, we
yeah,
have to look after our soil. We have to look after our health. If you want to look after your health, you at least have to eat as much as possible organic. When I say organic, it is not the organic that you people know with that organic certification. I mean,
okay,
the food that don't use this synthetic material anymore,
okay, okay.
right? Yes.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Okay.
So this is actually also, like, and quite a big advantage also to promote our country, sir, if we can go forward with this, and
Of
that we
course.
can achieve this level, because countries like yeah, some other countries actually also within Asia, they actually use this as a tagline to promote their country. They say that all what you eat and drink when you are in our country is organic. So that is
Exactly.
something big that they
Yeah,
can
we can
like
capitalize on
also
that.
as you, it is as you explained to us, doctor, like the West is fastly moving into all these organic and also healthy food, and
Yeah.
rather than the taste, what the nutrients that you get on this food. And I think it's quite good, and we are also going to get profited out of this if we can convert this.
Yeah.
uh, I hope that we'll be able to do it. So as you say that it is possible, and to yeah do this. I mean, go ahead with this revolution.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. And any one of you have questions? Anyone?
Excuse me, doctor.
Uh,
You mentioned that the soil needs to be restored.
Yeah.
Up to what percentage does it need to be restored, and what could be the restoration process that we could undertake?
Yeah, now it's like this. Now, the restoration process, there are many mechanisms, of course, you can do. Now, in order to know now the extent what we have damaged, we have to first look at. So for that, you need to test soil and then decide on that. In fact, there is a plan for that as well. And also, like the restoration process, I mean, like, you can start now itself. I mean, like, now, application of compost alone will not help, but at the same time, you may have to apply the other organic fertilizers with the compost, and also base material these what you call uh, it don't come to my mind now. Yeah, biochar and biochar. So biochar combination will definitely restore the soil with immediately. Did I answer your question?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, yeah. It
And
is
how would
possible.
this be done? Would the individual, like farm holders, are they able to do this, or does the
they
government
can
undertake to
they
do
can only thing the government will have to devise a mechanism to do this. Now biofertilizers are available. There are places where now they are producing biofertilizers. Even in my institute we have experimented and developed a biofertilizer right now, a liquid fertilizer. And the biochar, of course, we can produce easily because we have enough. If you don't have biochar, we can import even, right, without microbes. So sterilized biochar you can import. So the combination of biochar, the bio fertilizer plus compost will be a good combination. The government can get into and start producing. I mean, like, 2, 3 factories, what is available. Now I think they have converted those to organic fertilizer companies. So they can do it. I mean, like, only thing, the combination, what is required for paddy, you may have to have a different formula. For other crops you may have to have a different formula. I mean, like, agriculture sector people in the agriculture department, they know this, but they have not been supporting this. That was the reason actually. And in fact now we had to fight with the agriculture minister and the ministry secretaries and the director general of agriculture, one to one, face to face at the agriculture department, and we convinced that why do they need tons of compost for these fields? You don't need, they recommend I think about 10 tons per hectare, but we showed them that you need only half a ton of hectare compost per hectare. So they agreed, and now they have brought it down. I mean, like, now they have given exaggerated figures to these department ministers ministries, and they must have got what the West wanted to do. That is what has happened actually. So I mean, like, now with applying 10 tons, if we have brought it down to 1 ton, I'm like, මොනවද මේ කරලා තියෙන්නේ? This is the thing. So I mean, like, you can do it if you really want to do it, you can do it. You don't need to import this rubbish from China. It's පිස්සු. ඇත්තටම ඒවා ගෙන්නන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. We can do it. I mean, like, these are linear formula. Now there will be a drop in the yield definitely during this transition. So the productivity is equal the area and the yield. Productivity is equal area of cultivation into the yield. So if the yield drops, what do we have to do to maintain this? You increase the volume, the area of cultivation. So we have enough purankumuru and like this, and also we have a forces, so that we can get them to start cultivation to balance the drop of the yield. I mean, like, this can be done. This can be done. Only thing, the willpower and the leadership is necessary to do this.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And one more question, doctor.
Yeah.
Is skipping dinner is healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
healthy.
is. So in
It
that
is.
manner, sir,
And
you
intermittent
recommend-
fasting. So what is recommended is intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting.
West is highly into it now, doctor. Yeah. The Western world is highly into intermittent fasting now.
Yes. So this was, I mean, like, all our Hamudros practice, they are healthy, they live 80, 90, 100, no.
It is.
And if you don't eat in the night, next day morning, how comfortable you are. Of
It
course,
is.
now the biology, the biochemistry, what is happening within the body, I can explain. I mean, I know that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you spend a lot of energy during your, sleep to
Yeah.
digest. I mean, like, it's a lot of energy. So you preserve that.
So, doctor, when we, like most of us are tour guides who are in the chat, who are
Yeah.
in the webinar, but also others are there who are in the industry. Doctor, now when we work as tour guides, and some of us work as, like we go on adventure tours and we go on trekking and all that, and climbing mountains and stuff like that. And we'll be like during the daytime we'll be at work at a stretch for about 8 hours, and we'll be walking, okay, of course with stops and all that. So also when we are on a schedule like that, is it still advisable to skip dinner, like we have like breakfast and lunch only and not have dinner?
Well, yeah, I think usually sedentary life, when you have a sedentary life, you advise not to have the dinner. And also if you are obese. But if
Okay.
you are really need of, strenuous activities, but you may not be advised to skip your dinner. But still, the quantity you can take into consideration in the dinner. The quantity, because you in the daytime you eat a lot,
Okay.
right? During for it says, I mean, like in the traditional knowledge, it says උදේට කණ එක රජ්ජුරුව වගේ කන්න.
Yeah.
දවාලේ එක ෂෙයා කරගෙන කන්න.
Yeah.
රෑ එක තරහකාරයෙකුට දෙන්න. That's එහෙමනේ කියලා තියෙන්නේ.
Okay.
That's very interesting.
It is.
ඉතින් එතකොට රෑ එක ගැන, so since you have a concern, I mean, like, since you have strenuous during the daytime you have some strenuous work, of course, you don't need to skip, but still maybe it is good if you reduce to healthy meal, reducing the starch load, but stick to vegetables, then that will be good.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Right, so can I leave now?
Thank you very much. We will meet with you again.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, sir.
doctor.
Okay.
Looking forward for the next lecture.
Right, sure, I'll do. Don't worry.
Thank you, doctor.
So much for your time.
Okay, bye.
Thank you everyone for participating.